I hope everybody's okay. That was a little scary a couple times in that CM Punk successful title defense against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker going for a Hurricane Rana, landing on his head and neck and shoulders. Not many people, I think, could absorb that blow and just finish a match, but Braun spent, decades getting his neck in shape enough to be able to probably absorb that in a way that a lot of people would not have gotten up from. And then we had CM Punk and punched out of midair, diving through the ropes, and he landed at ringside with a thud a couple minutes later. But a dramatic 25-plus minute main event with us. I thought this match could go either way. I thought they told a convincing story. Both wrestlers did, and the announcers and the booking, that this could go either way. It did have a feel, Griffin, that that this could be the end of CM Punk, I think. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Punk just seemed to be in a mood. In the backstage interview, I think it was with Jackie Redmond, and also during ring introductions, he had a game face on that, kind of conveyed like it's part of a story, like he's going to snap or something. And he just had a successful title defense and succeeded despite shenanigans and interference from other Vision members. So a lot of moving parts, a lot to get into as far as the main event on tonight's 1-year anniversary of Raw on Netflix. We'll get into all the other topics, including the Stranger Things theme as part of the show and the lack of celebrities and any kind of pageantry that we got a year ago this week. But Griffin, what's your top takeaway from the world title match?
Like you said, could have gone either way. I could have seen Braun walking away with the title, and I think that's a great place for him to be, that he's that legitimized that we can logically see him walking around with the belt. But I also see that he could learn a few more things and come back and have the match where he takes it. I thought that spot where he missed the Frankensteiner was a little reminiscent of Brock Lesnar and his shooting star press, where just a botched move that if you weren't a thick-necked dude like those two were, could have been much different. I thought it really tied into the column that we just posted for my top 5 wishes for 2026 is a healthy roster. And my God, that looks scary a couple of times, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, the Punk thing just is because of his age and the velocity, and sort of like it almost felt like he was taking a bump he wasn't expecting. I don't think his boots caught the middle rope. I think it was just a planned spot for Breaker to knock him out of midair. But the landing looked like it was an awkward thud. But the Breaker thing, I mean, careful people. I mean, yeah, you want a healthy, you want a healthy group. I mean, that's his signature move. He's not doing something that is out of the ordinary, and I'm not gonna assign. I'll get some feedback from some wrestlers that I communicate with regularly if they observe that and get back to me. And maybe I'll just rewatch it and try to decipher it myself, whether Punk was a little off in terms of grabbing on or doing his part. But whatever it was,
it looked a little rushed on Breaker's part to me.
Yeah,
like he just kind of rushed into it.
Yeah, and so I don't know what to make of it. It's a move he should be able to pull off, and it's a move that Punk should be able to take, and it just didn't go well. So, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's got a bad headache right now, or is being looked at for concussion symptoms. But I mean, he got through the match and looked just fine. So, very, very good news there. At least that the match was able to continue. So, are you surprised that Breaker, I mean, you said that Breaker might win. Kavanti Smalls in the chat goes, I'm surprised Braun didn't go over tonight, but personally, I think he could afford a few more months of a journey, perhaps a strong babyface breakout from the Vision first. Is there a chance that the goal is to actually not have him win the title until he's a babyface, like Kavanti is saying might be a good storyline? Or else, how do you frame this setback? Braun's not the setup guy. This is not Austin Theory. It's not Bronson Reed. It's not Logan Paul even. It's the future of the company. Yeah. I mean, I say that pun intended. That's what his tights say, the future. Having him lose clean to a late 40s Punk who looks like he's slowing down a bit, although the crowd still loves him. And this was a hell of a laid out match. I mean, the drama and largely the execution was really well done. I mean, it was one-sided. Breaker beat down Punk for a long time, but Punk showed good fire. and he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. I mean, you can say physically he's not what he once was. He was never the best athlete, out there anyway. It was other things that got him over. I mean, he's really good, but he wasn't the best. So I think he can afford. Yeah, I think he can afford to slip a little and still have all the other tricks of the trade of a veteran work. Go ahead, Griffin. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was his great character. And then on this run, he's always been a really good storyteller in the ring, the way he lays out his matches. And I think that goes right in what you were saying is the way that the match was laid out. I think that's all Punk. I think his match with Gunther was great. While he's not everything physically in the ring that he once was, he's more than he's ever been mentally in the ring. So as long as he can do everything safely and protect his body, I'm loving this run.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about this because we're talking about the finish and if we're surprised by it, but just Breakker, we're talking about it like we assume that he should be able to, and I guess it's a good thing because of his track record so far and the way that they framed him and built him. But it should be kind of news that Breakker just went and had a really good long TV main event with CM Punk. We focused on the botch move, and I'm sure when you botch a move and you're a wrestler, like, God, this is what people are going to be thinking and talking about, and you don't want it to overshadow everything. So I don't want to be guilty of that.
No.
I think that this was we don't need them to tell us in a meta sense, this Bruce Braun Breakker can have a 4-star main event. Like, I don't want that. I don't even want, we'll get into the WWE Unreal segment too later, the build for season 2. You don't want them going all meta on us, but we should observe Breakker had what you would consider a pay-per-view PLE main event level performance there with a veteran. And that's not nothing. That isn't a given. He's come a long way.
Yeah, he definitely is the future. I can see the loss. It's all about what they do with his character next and where it comes from. Because, he did technically lose clean, even after a bunch of shenanigans and interference. Nobody came out. Well, I mean, they came out to even up the sides, but nobody came out to take Breakker out for Punk. That was strictly Punk hitting that knee, hitting his finish, and getting the cover. But fantastic match, quality main event, and a good test for Breakker. I mean, you don't want to put the belt on him until he shows this. He showed that he can have and carry this kind of match. Now he's got to continue to carry these type of matches with multiple opponents, be able to do the character work that's needed as well.
Very good. All right. Well, let's pause. We'll get some more chat comments up on the screen about this match. We also have 3 callers on hold, and we'll get to them also. But let's just introduce ourselves and the show real quick here. This is Wade Keller Pro Wrestling Post Show on Monday, January 5th, 2025. Did I say 2025? 2026? I like, as I said it, I was like, don't say 2025, and it still came out. January 5th, Mark Freddick, January 5th, 2026. And we're here talking Raw. It was a 1-year anniversary on Netflix. And as we said, the main event closed out the show, CM Punk successfully retaining against Braun Breakker. But we had other matches of significance on the show. And we'll talk about those other title matches and other developments here with my co-host on today's show, Griffin. Griffin, welcome to the show. Good to have you here. Tell us about briefly about your top 5 list. Your list of wishes for the new year, I think was the theme, wasn't it? Yeah.
So the latest article was my 5 wishes for the new year as a wrestling fan, and then number 1 was what we've been kind of talking about a little bit, was just the safety of the individuals. But I in a top 5 list, I'm not the guy to write top 5 matches of the year, those kind of things. There's too many matches, and there's too many variables of what people like. So, I try to keep it about things that historically significant and kind of cross over in what's going on. And with the new year, I thought some of the wishes for the new year that I'd like to see in the industry was a good place to start.
I liked it. It was a good read. You had a good list and some good points backing up why you chose them on your list. That's at PWTorch, our website. If you haven't, visit it today. It's a playground of fun articles, fun flashbacks. We just put up 3 Raw flashbacks from just over 10 years ago of poor Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon's desperation to try to get him over. It was the Sheamus feud, and one of the flashbacks was our report on the tater tots issue. The tater tots, back and forth with Sheamus. Reigns was given some bad content to work with, and it was kind of, I cringed rereading what Roman had to go through, the material he was given, but also he had a role in delivering it pretty poorly too. So anyway, but fun flashbacks, one of a kind articles you won't find anywhere else. This is not AI slop, and it is not just clickbait headlines chasing the latest CEO trend. It's just thoughtful articles that can be a conversation starter for you and your friends, and encourage you to check it out. Also, our live coverage of major TV and pay-per-views and PLEs throughout the week, including, by the way, team coverage of Wrestle Kingdom on the website right now. So check it out if you haven't. Make it a regular stop. PWTorch.com. We are committed to bringing you original, thoughtful content from a wide array of perspectives, along with breaking news and live coverage on a daily basis. That's PWTorch.com. All right, you can participate in today's show. We're live on YouTube. Just search PWTorch on YouTube or Wade Keller. Should bring the show up. Subscribe, set an alarm so you get notified when we go live. You can find me hosting live after Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday within 5-10 minutes after the show's end. We also have an NXT post show with Nate Lindberg and Kelly Wells and a crew of rotating co-hosts. And then also a week and a half from now, my plan is to host, first time ever, a TNA Impact live post show right here on the YouTube channel. It'd probably be a one-off at the moment, but it'd be fun with them moving to AMC. They're going to certainly try to deliver something special. So it'd be kind of fun to do something a little different. And also after PLEs, we've got our pay-per-view and PLE post shows on weekends. So a lot of good content worth checking out on our YouTube channel. All of that gets distributed on the podcast side of things, audio only. That's where most of you are listening to us, and welcome and thank you. To subscribe to our free podcast, search Wade Keller, and subscribe to the blue and red logo shows to get everything, and search PWTorch and subscribe to the colorful PWTorch Daily Cast logo, different shows each day of the week with a different theme and different hosts, and also the charcoal gray logo to get free samples of our VIP tier podcasts. PWTorch.com/GoVIP is where you get information on becoming a VIP member. You can support us and unlock a ton of benefits. Audio, new audio regularly, archives going back decades, newsletters, the Wade Keller News Bulletin in PDF, text, and audio formats, and more. PWTorch.com/GoVIP. Treat yourself to a membership you'll use and you'll appreciate. Support a small business. We're not corporate owned. We're not internationally owned. We're not a conglomerate. Small family business, been in business for decades, and we welcome you to support us. Speaking of which, before Griffin, we move to our callers and the rest of the show, you also run a small business. Tell people about that and what you've got special going on.
Yeah, so Nerdstalgia, it's a store in Colorado Springs. So if you're in Colorado, it's not that big of a state, especially if you're on the eastern side of the mountains. Getting through the mountains is the only tough part here. So a store that we carry kind of what it says, nostalgic, nerdy stuff. So
like what's behind you?
Yeah, like what's behind me. We have a massive wrestling section. People love coming in to see what kind of wrestling goods we have, because I look for them and source them from a variety of places. So we carry comics, physical media, and collectibles. So whether it's comics, vinyl, video games, movies, toys, come in, check us out. Nerdstalgia.shop's the website. We have a grand opening party coming up in just a couple of weeks on the 24th. So like the first Nitro, we're going to have some wrestling in the mall. And BPW, Battleground Pro Wrestling, is a great crew out of Greeley, Colorado. They're going to be traveling to Colorado Springs. We're in the Citadel Mall if you wanted to check us out. But we'll have everything from hip-hop to cosplay, movie directors, skateboard art designers, 3D printing, and the wrestling ring in the mall. So it'll be a fun time.
That sounds great. For those who don't see the graphic, nerdstalgia.shop and bpwlive.com for info on that wrestling show. That's coming up January 24th. Happy to plug that, and good luck with that. I know the fun and also the hard work and challenges of running your own business. And this is a cool way to promote what you are doing, Griffin.
Well, wrestling fans, we're always looking for somebody that'll cater to us. And like I said, that's why one of the reasons I wanted to have a large wrestling section is because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that Walmart and Target allocate a small section to, and everything else is online. So it's kind of fun. We have title belts and autographs that are. I mean, I have a Savage, Undertaker, Hogan, all in the store right now. So fun stuff that you'll find.
Cool. All right. You can participate in our discussion on Raw tonight if you're watching us live on YouTube in the chat. You can also email us, wadekellerpostshow@gmail.com. We'll have our flagship show tomorrow, and you can email us there if you're listening to us on the audio side of things. If you have a subject or topic or rant or something you want to be part of the audio-only Blue Logo show, flagship tomorrow, Wade Keller podcast@gmail.com. And you can also be a video caller. The link to be a video caller is in my TV report at PWTorch. So when I'm covering Raw, Dynamite, or SmackDown, and if you want to be a video caller, you can turn your camera off. If you want to be audio only, that's fine too. You can find the link there. Just click it. It'll bring you right into the waiting room. Speaking of which, we've got Rude Dog up first in the waiting room joining us with some topics. We also have Stephen Cleveland and Sean from Tennessee on deck. Rude Dog, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wade and Griffin. So yeah, I was curious about what you thought about the whole Stranger Things concept of this Raw, because I am a Stranger Things fan, but I was hoping for a lot more than what we got. I mean, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But it was like the bare minimum they could do. Like, they had the music, and it was supposedly the Upside Down, but nothing was upside down. Like, nothing was weird. Nothing was strange. It was just a normal Raw.
So, Rude Dog, I get what you're saying, and in a way, like, it's so Stranger Things is such a big thing. Like, do more than just the chapters and the music and the cool lighting and the intro and the set pieces. But I'm also really relieved. Like, I've lived through RoboCop and WCW and zombies invading.
Chucky.
I mean, yes, Chuck. Yeah, I mean, there's. I'm just sort of like, woof. Okay, we got through that. Okay. It did kind of come across as, like, have you ever messed around with wallpaper on your phone and, like, there's like a theme and you're like, oh, I'm gonna try this. And this doesn't apply to Raw, but like, and it makes your phone almost unfunctionable. Is that a word? Corey Graves invented a word tonight, so I can. Unfunctionable. And where it's like you can't see the apps, it's like covering it up, or it's just like busy and all that. And you're like, okay, no, I'm just going back to the plain thing. I don't need my phone to be that like special and theme oriented. I will say I also feared that early on with Raw, but as I preemptively said, I don't think this actually was that distracting either. I mean, I thought it just sort of hovered in the background. The music was kind of cool. I think when you build it up to the degree that WWE did, there's a thought maybe there'll be a guest star from the show, or there'll be something more. But like you said, Rude Dog, I don't know what that something would be, because I don't want what they might do if they did more. So I would just say this worked fine for me. I thought it was kind of cool, but nothing more. And I don't have a suggestion for what the more would have been that wouldn't have made it worse. So that's my thought. Griffin, how about you?
I was watching with my 17, almost 18-year-old, and he thought it was very cool. So from that perspective, I think they nailed it. Just to tie in, two of the biggest franchises Netflix has access to, and introduce one to the other, and have a nod to Stranger Things being now on Netflix with the final episode of the final season. And I could see them having an actor or two kind of maybe introduce the show.
Like just a video intro, or who is your favorite wrestler, or there's someone who from the cast, or even a producer or a director who's a big fan of the show. Like,
sure,
there just wasn't anything like that. That could have been okay.
Just to have somebody doing some intros or talking about how much they love wrestling, who their favorite was. I think that would have been a nice touch and given it a little bit more than just the Stranger Things skin.
I mean, I don't know that. I'm from who is on the roster standpoint, I don't know who would fit with doing like comedy related to this.
Where they missed it was it's the wrong show in the Wyatt family.
Yeah. Like, or R-Truth, showing up and I don't want to write his own skit, but like, or Chelsea Green. I mean, I guess some of these are
freaked out.
Yeah. Or, a noise in the basement where someone is pulling a prank on somebody else who's a fan of the show and they freak out. I don't know. But again, I don't know that I'm giving good ideas. I'm just giving ideas that would have been more, that would have not broken the structure of the show, just a confused R-Truth or, Chelsea being intentionally scared by somebody pulling a prank on her. Again, I'm not saying these are good ideas. I'm just, like Adam Pearce, something with Adam Pearce being a super, I don't know. I don't have to. Brewdog, don't make me go down this road. All right. I'll say this. I am surprised they didn't put more into finding something more than the graphic package to tie it in along the lines of what I'm saying, with some, besides the stars of the show, something having to do with the show and the theme and pranking somebody or someone being a super fan or something, or R-Truth being confused. So that's it. All right, Brewdog, back to you.
To me, it just like came across that like the people at Stranger Things didn't want to have anything to do with WWE. It was just like we'll give you our likeness and whatnot, but we're not going to be a part of this whatsoever. So that's kind of how I felt.
I'm pretty sure they paid for that likeness, not just give it to them.
Yeah,
that's probably true.
Space.
All right, what else, Brewdog?
All right, so I'm gonna go with this one because this was the thing that got me going the most. The unfiltered series 2 preview with Seth Rollins faking his injury, and then right after that you have who was the 70 Valkyria had a fake injury as well. It was just like, what is going on here?
So, yeah, I thought to lead with Paul Heyman saying, I don't like this show. I grew up where we protect our secrets. I mean, I hope that's true, and I hope Paul genuinely doesn't like it because I don't like the concept of it. I don't think WWE should be doing it. I think it's programming for Netflix, but I think and I said this a year ago when this first came out, I think the motivation is to turn the people who should be behind the scenes into stars by undercutting and kind of creating some friction, needless friction, and a headwind for the wrestlers to get over doing what they're doing. The show is starring everyone on headsets in the back. It's starring the writers, and it does so at the peril of the fan experience, which is ultimately what I care most about is just, are you undercutting the fan experience? And I mean, I kind of think you are. I think wrestling is different than Stranger Things, but I also don't think in the middle of Stranger Things, you want to, in the middle of the finale, that there should be a break where they break the immersion of the world they've created that you are emotionally invested in and crying several times during it, and break that immersion and start having the actors break character and talk about how they did, and it's even worse when like, oh, we did something to try to trick the audience and we did something deceptive to what ends? I always ask with the Seth fake injury, to what ends? What was the payoff for that? And you break the immersion by having the writers talk about decisions they made. It's like, do that after. Now, Raw never ends. WWE never ends. So you can't do the wrap up and the look back because canon never ends for pro wrestling. And that's where it's different. And this just, to me, it comes across as a bunch of people behind the scenes being marks for themselves and placating some network executives at Netflix who don't understand that this actually undercuts something they paid a lot of money for, and it's not worth it. And there's other things they can do. Now, all that said, this was not the worst. Having Seth say, I faked an injury, he's a heel. And, oh, okay, he faked an injury. Now, if we break it down and look at it, like, to what ends would he do it as a character? I don't think that makes sense. But it didn't, in and of itself, it wasn't exposing anything. Having R-Truth be teared up about being cut didn't expose anything. Wrestlers get cut. Naomi. I don't, that commercial didn't reveal anything that broke immersion. It just said she was so upset she walked out. I want to give them credit for not on the show itself, because, and that's the other thing. The show, it's WWE Unreal, like it's whatever, like you said, unfiltered, unscripted, whatever. It's fake. Like the show is fake. Like this Seth thing was created, and I said it at the time, to give them something to film for this season 2. It's as much a work as what we watched tonight on the rest of Raw, but they pretend it's not. And I think that actually upsets wrestling fans. They're like, we'll play along with use the term, the canon of the storylines. We'll play along with it. We get that's the gig. But don't lie to us and say, but now we're going to be real. And you're not. Like, I mean, it's a spin. It's like, it's partially real, but a lot of what we see on Raw is partially real too. So I think it's insulting to go, now we're going to level with you. And they manufacture BS that they think will make for a good fake reality show, mixed in with real emotions and needless shots of wrestlers out of character that makes it harder to believe them in the roles that they consistently play year after year after year otherwise. So I don't like the concept. I thought they were, like last year, most of the way last year, thoughtful in what they put in the commercials, but the concept itself still, in and of itself, when Hall Levesque's on there going, we got to write storylines and it's hard. It's a challenge. Like, I don't care what you rationalize. You've broken the immersion when you start on a wrestling show saying, talking about storylines. So anyway, that's my take. Griffin, your take, and then I want to hear from Rude Dog after you talk to what his thoughts are.
Sure. So I'll disagree with some of what you said. I think there is an audience for it.
There is an audience. I never said there wasn't.
Well, yeah, the wrestling fan, yeah.
Kids will eat all the junk food you give them. It doesn't mean it's healthy.
Sure. Well,
this is junk food for wrestling fans. It breaks the immersion. It contradicts. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Griffin. I should let you fit, but I feel strongly about this. Like, it sounds arrogant to say this, but wrestling fans don't all know what's best for them. I say this all the time repeatedly. The peak experience for wrestling fans is when they get immersed in the product and they don't pull the curtain back. I know fans think they want that, but they don't, any more than you want to eat 17 cupcakes on your birthday because you have a stomach ache. I think this undercuts a peak experience for fans. I will step back and not interrupt you again, Griffin. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm also a guy that surrounds myself in DVDs that are more than just wrestling documentaries, because I like to have the director's commentary about the movie. I like to have the special features. I like to have the breakdowns on how something was shot. And there wasn't really a monster there, but how did they create that, whether it's CGI or practical effects? So I do think that there is a positive thing for the audience that wants it and a way that they can do it. I don't think manufacturing things for the show is the right way to go. And the fact that, I didn't finish the first season, but I watched enough to realize, like, I've watched enough, read enough, know enough on the inside to say, that's not the real conversation. So that's the way they shot something. But if they could keep it towards the special features on a Blu-ray, I love that kind of stuff.
I think there are things to pluck that happen behind the scenes, like the reaction to R-Truth being fired. That can be on WWE Unreal. Naomi walking out, if they're careful with, what they report, so it doesn't feel like, fake real. Like, it just, you don't want to insult the audience with fake stuff, but you also sometimes don't want to exploit something for a documentary that ultimately is better for everybody to not be talked about by the company that has an interest in framing it one very specific way. But what you don't need is this Paul Levesque putting his face on camera talking about storylines. I just don't. With what happened with the finish to John Cena, I would be an advocate. I am an advocate for. I won't use passive voice, or it's not that I would be. I'm an advocate for taking away the notion that WWE is overtly trying to entertain the fans as part of the presentation of the product. That, of course, is what they're doing. They should never talk about it. It should feel like a privilege to watch these professional athletes do what they do, through whatever lens you watch it. And fans have a whole spectrum of how they watch it. But you should afford fans a chance to watch it without breaking the immersion. I think it's rude. I just think it's rude. I don't want to read it.
I do think it belongs outside of the show.
Yeah. And that's the thing. These commercials are a big issue. Like, it's the commercial aspect of it. I'll add two things to that. If I'm to point you just made, Griffin, if I'm reading a novel, I don't want to get to page 180 and then have the author go, at this point in the book, I was thinking of going two directions. And what you just read in the last chapter was one option. But let me tell you about another option I was thinking about. And boy, it was hard to make that call. No, I do not want in the middle of the book. Now, if there's an author who writes 8 novels and I'm a fan of them, if 3 years after I'm done with the novels, he wants to write about the process, yes, but that gets to my point. Raw never ends. SmackDown never ends. I can watch a movie. I see the characters. I know it's a movie. I know they're actors playing characters, and there's no connection between the characters they play and who the actors are almost always. So if an actor who I know is an actor gets me to buy in for an hour and a half or 2.5 hours, great. But he's not asking me to buy into that character year after year, decade after decade, like CM Punk. So this notion is, well, they know it's fake, so let's just show everybody which characters reflect who they really are and which ones don't at all. Why do that? I grew up with Stephen Wright and Emo Phillips, like these kind of stand-up comedians who go on talk shows, and I didn't know what they were really like in real life. I met Emo Phillips. He's not quite that weird. But I don't want to see during their peak run doing stand-up, I don't want a stand-up TV weekly show or a documentary to go, hey, let's tell you how Emo Phillips isn't anything, or Stephen Wright doesn't deadpan all the time and he actually talks totally differently. I don't want to know that Chevy Chase is an asshole. Like, I don't need that while I'm trying to enjoy the peak of his career in the movies I'm enjoying. My point is, if you have a stake in to me, stand-up comedians play the same character decade after decade if they're fortunate to have a career. You don't want to break the bond with the audience by showing that they're nothing like that they present themselves on stage. And to me, wrestlers are a lot more like stand-up comedians. Matt McCarthy wrote for WWE as a backstage writer for them. He also is a stand-up comedian. We talked about this all the time years ago. Those are in the archives. Wrestlers aren't like actors in movies where you watch a documentary and there's no a breaking of immersion because it's after the movie's over and they don't play that character again. It's more like stand-up comedy. And believe me, stand-up comedians are works. They come up with an idea on the nightclub circuit or whatever, like, oh, this is who I really am when they're 21 and on drugs. And then they get married and they get success and they buy a house and maybe a vacation home and they're 33. They're doing the same bit. There's nothing about them that's connected to the act that got them over when they're 21, but they fake it because they want to make money. Don't do a documentary about how they're faking it now and they're nothing like they were 12 years ago while you're still trying to sell tickets for that act. So that's my semi-regular rant about why I think within WWE and Netflix, they think everyone knows it's fake, so who cares? And it's so much more nuanced than that. And is not serving the fans to show them stuff about the people who they believe in that contradicts it. It's hard for people. They want you to believe all the baby faces are good guys, genuinely, but all the bad guys, most of them are just playing that role. Like, why? Let us think Gunther kind of delights in the fact on a level that he got to be the guy to beat John Cena because he laughs at John Cena because John Cena doesn't reflect anything that resembles what he truly believes pro wrestling should be. Don't break that immersion in the midst of his run. Well, I don't want to see Gunther joshing around with writers about how to come up with a way to make fans mad at him for picking on John Cena any more than I wanted Miz crying about John Cena retiring on Cena's retirement night. Yeah, Griffin, go ahead. Then we'll definitely throw back to Doug.
Yeah, I will say that I concede to that point about it being now and revealing too much. JBL's fill-in for Bruce Pritchard on the podcast. I couldn't have hated the guy and booed the guy if I knew he had like more rescue kittens than anybody I've ever met and took care of help young kids with sports in third world countries. And he does all these humanitarian things with the money he earned being a heel. And I couldn't have hated him as a heel had he flashed those things around at that time. So I do totally get that. You don't want to know that the heel is really a good guy. That was years after his run was over and he was on a podcast when he pulled that back.
I kind of want to think all the people we're paying to see who are bad guys are, I kind of hope they're all good guys but I don't want to know, but I kind of want to think that's the weird part about this is you don't actually want to think you're supporting people who are jerks. But you also don't want to be showing how they're not jerks if you're enjoying booing them and cheering the babyface. It's so weird in that way.
I'm pretty brought into Brock Lesnar being a true heel.
Yeah, I get that. And no, but I'm thinking like I've there's like like so many people. There's different aspects to him. And I've heard stories that would undercut the image that he's. Yeah, it'd be speaking out of school to tell someone, but it's like there's things he does that are not bad. Like he's not like so. Anyway, but yeah, don't highlight those when you're trying to draw money with him as a heel. All right, Rude Dog, you open a Pandora's box of thoughts and rants and opinions. But yeah, I feel strongly that there is a either or rather simple-minded debate that goes on about this show, and I don't think most people talk about it the way that I do and that we do on the show. It's not about, well, we know it's fake, so the rules are off. I think it's backstage people marking out for themselves, trying to get on camera. I think it's lying to the fans by saying something's real when it's nearly as much of work as anything else. I don't think there's a justification for it because there's documentaries on movies. I think it shouldn't be a commercial where you're talking about storylines while you're watching the show itself. I think there's all kinds of things that are wrong about this. There are ways to handle it better, and they could, but it wouldn't draw the ratings, and they wouldn't be able to hype it in the same way. But I think ultimately it's a net loss the way that they do it.
Well, I feel like I always kind of open some type of Pandora's box, but
someday I'm not going to take the bait. I'm going to give you like a 1-sentence answer.
But hey, if I can get an Emo Phillips reference, I'm all here for it. So love that guy.
Follow him on social media. He is amazing. And watch his old Letterman, his stuff on Letterman, his stand up on Letterman. Wow. He's a genius, yeah.
But so one last thing about that show, I don't care if it exists or not. I don't think it should be commercial during the actual show showing that the show's fake. Like, make it more of a mystery or something. Like, whatever. Like, don't show me that Seth Rollins faked an injury and then I have to watch Stephanie Belcaire have a walking boot on and then get attacked on her walking boot right after you show me that it's injuries are fake. It's just like, come on. Like, you can do this, but do it better.
There are absolutely ways. And, I say this a lot. The things that I'm critical of are, I don't get down on wrestlers like other people do. Like, people like to, talk about botched moves, and they'll do a whole video or list of all the mistakes wrestlers made. It's like, I make too many mistakes in my life. People, and typos or whatever. We all make mistakes in our jobs. I don't want someone just making a list. Stuff happens. Like, what I pick on are things that are, you can pick on's word, that the things that I point to are things that are preventable, are fixable, are easily fixable and repeatable in that sense. And so I don't like picking on things that are a side effect of the craft that is inevitable and going to happen from time to time. I just think you're being a dick by, like, ha ha ha, you're being the real life Gunther. But I think there are things that can be done with WWE and Real to eat their cake and have it too. Like, I think they can, you can have a series that pulls the curtain back and not do a few of these things that I think undercut the peak experience that fans should otherwise have. I don't think it crosses their minds to do it, or I don't think they put enough thought into it. And I am a champion of more nuance and a more sophisticated approach to the notion that everyone knows it's fake, so nothing matters. Wrestlers work really, really hard to make their moves look real by selling. They cut themselves. They take some moves that with hard bumps, try to make it look real. Then you have this whole crew of people who just want camera time, or network executives who do not understand the culture, going, well, since it's fake anyway, let's do this. And it undercuts what the wrestlers work very, very hard to try to make look real in the ring and make convincing on the microphone. And there's a reason they try to be convincing in the ring and on the microphone, and stuff like this undercuts it in real time.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to the next subject. One thing you can't fake is the energy and passion that Io Sky and Rhea Ripley have for each other. Like, it's pretty beautiful, actually. Like, what do you see with them winning the titles? And I didn't like it that Corey Graves already like said something to the effect that well, Rhea Ripley's never pinned Io Sky before. So he was already like throwing out that they're, gonna be against each other. Like, what do you think about their chemistry, and where do you think their professional wrestling relationship is gonna go?
With Io and Ripley, they're heading towards a match at some point against each other, but they're a feel good, happy tag team. I worry that they've been told dial up their gregarious, adorable to a fault appreciation for each other, because they want it to be more dramatic if they ever have to face each other, which I think they will do. Griffin, your thoughts on that?
I think everything with Io is way over exaggerated, and if she dialed it back about like 40%, it would do her good. I think her faces are a little too cartoony and unrealistic. She's so good in the ring. She's almost like Dean Malenko precision in the ring, but the goofiness of like a mid-card act when it comes to like facials and stuff. So I like the seeds are planted. It tells us where we're going. Being a fan of movies and story, I think a little now I can't think of the word. Slipping in a little bit, foreshadowing, a little bit of foreshadowing on where they're going. It helps you watch the story right, so we do know they're a team. There is going to be some type of misunderstanding, split match between the two. Now we get to see the story play out. Who's going to turn? Is there going to be a turn? Is it going to be a friendly battle? But yeah, I'd love to see Io Sky dial back a little bit the faces.
Rude Dog.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're hamming it up a bit, but you could just feel like legit chemistry between them. So, that's rare. There's a lot of tag teams.
But if it's real, Rude Dog, wouldn't you want them to turn it down just a little? Because it's almost distractingly over the top sometimes. I don't know if it's been as bad the last couple of weeks, but for a little while, it just sort of became the topic. Like it felt like it became more of a topic than was intended.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe dial it down a notch, but I still appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of public
good.
hugging. Yeah. It's a lot of public hugging.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I think there should be a little bit more of equalization in treatment. And, I didn't see Booker T and Stevie Ray embracing and hugging in that way. So, they embrace like brothers would embrace, not, cutesy over the top stuff. And I think we should treat women and men wrestlers equally in that. Not write a woman to act that way because that's how a woman would act. That's not how a woman would act.
Okay.
Dog. Yeah.
I just feel like that's how they actually want to act. I don't feel like it's forced upon them, but I could be wrong.
I think being encouraged to embellish something genuine is what we're seeing. I think it's in that middle ground, but I just think like just 15% less, I think, would have led to it being all positive and not being sort of made fun of in some circles. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, it can get to meme level.
Yeah.
All right. I get it. All right. One last topic, and then I'll let Sean and whoever else comes on next. Hi, Sean. So I feel like the Becky Lynch Maxine Dupree feud has been going on forever, and it still seems like it's not over yet because Becky cheated to win the Intercontinental title back. I mean, what is this doing? I guess the whole thing is supposed to make Maxine Dupree look more relevant, like legit. But is that working for you? Because to me, it just seems time to move on, and I don't want to see them wrestle ever again.
Griffin, what do you think?
I think it's over. I mean, she cheated to win, but she's going to find something else. She's going to move on. I think this feud's done. I think it did really good things for Maxine. You know, I'm not sure she's the one I would have chose for that, but that's the one that was chosen for that. So good for her. She made the most of it. She is now a former champion. She's got a stronger resume because of that feud. So I think Becky really is the best women's wrestler in history. It's not just me saying it. So
Who else says it?
Sports Illustrated.
Name
Sports
someone
Illustrated
else.
said, yeah. I got this kid that comes in every Tuesday to talk to me about Raw at the store, and he can't stand Becky Lynch, and I just love the fact that he annoys her. And I'm like, she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. I love that you hate her so much. So hey, Anthony, if you're watching. But yeah, I'll just leave it there.
Well, Griffin, do you think she's good enough to be believable as, like, I mean, going from the gimmick was, did she tie her shoes to each other? She's such a dope. Did she put her left boot on her right foot? Like, was practically like they treated her as so incompetent and in over her head that if she pulled off a drop kick without knocking out a tooth on landing, they congratulated her. And a few vignettes later, and a few weeks later, she is now countering.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of sloppy MMA moves, but yeah.
You're bringing out the excitement for what's next, because I'd forgotten about that. We're going to get the low-key legend, Natty Neihart, because that's who whipped her into shape, and she'll probably be mad that she lost and end up turning. And Rude Dog, have you seen any of Natty Neihart stuff in Bloodsport and NWA?
Yeah, I've seen her live at Bloodsport. Okay.
Oh man, jealous. Yeah, her stuff in Bloodsport's top shelf, and I want to see her have a run. Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe she would take the belt from Maxine after turning on her, but yeah, I think just a her and Maxine feud would be great, and then I'd love to see Natty chase a belt.
Very good.
Well, that'd be cool. I mean, Natty hasn't had much of any relevance in WWE in seemingly years, and she adjusted.
She was in those segments, though, the vignettes that they were showing in the workout, her and Maxine.
Right. But it's just like, I meant her wrestling wise. Like, I don't remember the last like major match she's even had, but it'd be cool to see, because she was. I mean, Maxine was basically copying her character, and now you get to see the real deal. That would be cool, but we'll see.
Rudog, before you kind of conclude on this, what do you think their point is? Is it just genuinely a few weeks of training with Natalya turned her from a bumbling, tripping over her own feet, incompetent, and over her head rookie, to a badass who can keep up with Becky Lynch, go even Steven, and she's mastered the art of these submissions and strikes? Is that it? That's the story? Like, I will say this. I don't think Maxine is awful in the ring. I think she's better, but she's not great. She's not very good yet, but I don't think if she didn't have the baggage she had, we'd watch her match and just be like, she doesn't belong on TV. I think what we'd say is she's kind of green. Like there's something here, but maybe she's not ready for primetime yet. But I don't think it would just be like, oh my God, she's awful. I think some discerning eyes, especially wrestlers who have a respect for the craft, would be like, come on, there's other people who should be on TV instead of her. We know why she's on TV. I don't think she's so awful it's disqualifying. But that debate isn't what I'm interested in as much as I am. What do they want us to think in a few weeks she got good? Like, is that genuinely the end game here? Like, oh, we just don't want her to be the bumbling, stumbling idiot anymore who's in overhead. So we're just going to spend a month doing vignettes and then magically she's back and she's good. That's not realistic.
Yeah, I think that's what their plan was. I think she's someone behind the scenes that everyone likes and works hard, and people are rooting for her. So they gave her, this, little character development and try to make her more legitimate, but she's just going to be the same place where she is. Like,
what if between sources at the Torch and Nerdstalgia, we paid for 3 weeks of training for Rude Dog with Natty, and we see if that's possible? Can Natty do something in 3 weeks with Rude Dog?
She could probably beat my ass, but I don't know what else besides that.
Well, okay, let's take away that it would turn you into a wrestler who could be on Raw. Can we just pay someone to beat your ass for a few weeks and we get to watch? Is that what you're getting at, Griffin?
What is going on here?
On a brighter note, Derek Mitchell wants to know, Rude Dog, no more stash? I like the Tom Selleck look. The with or without mustache Tom Selleck. I don't know what he's getting at.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's talking the stash Selleck. Yeah, I had to.
But he didn't have it on Friends. I mean, it's been a long time since he was like.
He did have it on Friends. I actually.
Oh, did he?
Ran into a rerun the other day, and he still had it. And
well,
I was
what
like,
show did he do where he had shaved it? It was I just know every time I saw him like in promos on some CBS series, probably. I don't know. I'm like, oh, that's what he looks. That's what his upper lip looks like.
Yeah.
So I think what Derek's saying is it doesn't look right. Just like Tom Selleck not seeing a mustache on you anymore.
Hey, it was an odd run, the era of the mustache. Let's just say, like,
November got out of hand.
It brought out weird sides and people I were dating and stuff like that. So I had to get it gone.
Interesting. All right. I don't want to be inappropriate in asking you, but if you were to unzip your hoodie, would there be a wrestling shirt under that?
No, I can show you what's under. Sorry. It's a Cedar Point shirt, amusement park in Sandusky, Ohio. This is one of their longest running roller coasters, the Gemini, where two coasters basically race each other and people can like high five each other on the other coasters. It's a lot of fun. Huh?
Or throw up on each other.
No. It's a pretty tame ride. It was like built in the 70s, but it's a classic. So yeah. Sorry, no wrestling shirt. But...
Well, it's kind of lettering. It kind of is. I was gonna say, Griffin, 80s-ish themed lettering, maybe.
Yeah, kind of.
So Stranger Things,
late 70s, kind of arcade cabinet kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, I could see that logo on Stranger Things, that font. Yeah.
And that was another thing. Like, I was a little like pissed that they didn't have like any like 80s themed stuff, like because Stranger Things is in the 80s. Like, yeah. They couldn't do any throwbacks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly, like a wrestler from the 80s, like get Jim Duggan in or something I don't know. All right. Yes, it was from the 80s, Wade, says Eric Moy in the chat. By the way, Pickens says in the chat, Selleck has a stash for his reverse mortgage commercials. It instills trust for the seniors. Yes, I have seen that recently. But also, Real Legend says he came back on Friends in guest spots without a mustache. So there you go. So he had it and didn't have it in Friends. So there we are. Yeah. All right, cool. Rude Dog, always fun. Thanks.
Great. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. All right, very good. Let's we'll bring Ian into the conversation next. I do want to get hopefully we have time to go to some of the chat room comments about a couple of the topics we talked about with Rude Dog, but I don't want to leave the callers holding too long here. It's getting late. So we'll bring Ian from Tennessee into the Ian from Tennessee. Hey Ian, what's going on?
Oh, not much, Wade. How you guys doing?
Doing good. I like the walking while you talk.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up my wife. She's getting ready to go to bed. So
yeah, makes sense.
Wise.
You are. Yeah. That's the trendy thing to do on social media is do that handheld selfie video. Where you're walking and talking.
Happy wife, happy life.
Gentlemen. You're very trendy.
See, I'm wearing a wrestling shirt. I don't care.
Very good.
So the wrestling shirt was actually first thing. AJ Styles Gunther. Are you surprised they're putting it on the Raw next week and not letting it build just a little bit more, or do you think they're doing it too early?
I'm surprised, but I figure they're up to something. I don't think it'll be the blow off to something that's just getting started. So to me, I wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't expect it to be the main event that ends the show because I don't think we'll get a clean finish. I think it'll be more of an angle, but I don't know. I mean, I think there's a variety of ways it can go. Griffin, how about you?
Yeah, same. I just assumed it was going to be a match on the Royal Rumble, and then when they said next week, I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I like the idea of Styles standing up to Gunther. I like somebody standing up to Gunther. And I think it works out well. And maybe they had this all in mind when they plotted out the Styles Cena match that, was mutual respect, throwback to their classics. That'd be sort of the surprise match of the year, just in terms of its form. Others might have a surprise match of the year for completely different reasons. But like the fact that they had this like really good match was so kind of out of the normal realm of I want to beat you, I hate you, or the title. It was just, let me one up you. It was just, kind of like an all-star game NBA. I'm going to, outdunk you and dribble between my legs. It was like, I'm going to show off and do all these moves, but they still wanted to win. So you have this like distinct match between two people with mutual respect and history. And now the guy who fought him, AJ, is coming to his defense. I like that tie into this. It makes sense. And he announced, and it wasn't Bigfooting Cena, it was to lay the groundwork for this. He announced, 2026 will be his last year. So I think there's a lot of good reasons to have this as a follow-up feud. They might have something bigger. I don't know if bigger is the right word, different in mind for Gunther at WrestleMania, and they just want to kind of follow up while the issue is still fresh. What do you think, Griffin? Anything more?
Yeah, nothing more. I maybe they do want Gunther in the Royal Rumble itself, so he can have whatever interaction to his WrestleMania opponent's going to be. So they went with it earlier.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys think he'll carry the momentum from beating Cena by winning the Rumble finally? I mean, he's been overdue for a Rumble win at least the past 2 years, in my opinion.
Gunther?
Gunther.
Yeah. So, let me understand. You're saying, are they going to Styles sooner so they can save Gunther for the Rumble to win?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, that's my thing. Is like Gunther wins the Rumble at least.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and I glossed over it a little bit in today's Wade Keller News Bulletin for VIP members, just the array of people in the Rumble. And it was kind of inspired by SmackDown, where you had, I think 4 different wrestlers targeting Cody, but also promoting the Royal Rumble as a way to get a shot at Cody. Trick and Randy and Sammy and Randy. I don't know. I may have said Randy, but but Gunther is in the mix for somebody. Obviously, it's being talked about. He's a big name. He's fresh off of beating Cena. If he wins the Rumble, he can choose his opponent. Does he chase after Punk? Does he go after Cody? There's some fresh matches there if those two are the champs come WrestleMania. There's so many possibilities for top matches at WrestleMania that no matter what you do, you're going to be displacing someone else's version of what a better top match should be at one of the 2 nights of WrestleMania for the men's titles. Griffin, how do you feel about Gunther winning the Rumble? And if he does, who do you want to see him face? And what does that displace that you can defend displacing?
If Gunther wins it this year, I see more that Sammy could win this year with the Royal Rumble being in Saudi. I think that would be a great feel-good story. And, he's been talking about his world title win and never winning the world title. On the flip side, I could see Gunther winning it this year, carrying the title for a year, letting Sammy win the Rumble next year when when WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi. So I think it could be Gunther or Sammy this year. I think that's my top 2 picks.
Ian, what do you think to that?
I mean, they could do that, or they could have Sammy win the Rumble and maybe do a world title elimination chamber match, and maybe that's how Gunther gets the belt. But that would also just be a repeat of Sammy beating Gunther for the IC belt. What was that, a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah. My thinking is Sammy's year is there's a longer story arc they're telling, and if he's going to win the world title, I think it'll be in 2027. Which is a long time to tell the story, so I'm not confident in it. I just think there's too many other options right now.
It's a loaded roster.
Yeah. I mean, that was my cover. It was my main story in the VIP News Bulletin today. Is just how loaded, all the options are for Cody. I mean, some are more obvious than others, but it's like you could have 4 major injuries and you'll still have a good match for Cody at WrestleMania if he's champion by then. I mean, it's just that is the depth they have. They have enough to go around. They'd have to, reshuffle a lot of things to make that happen if they had 3 or 4 major injuries. But yeah, and obviously it's Rumble season, and a lot of wrestlers are going to talk about wanting to win the Rumble and be champion. That's just 'tis the season. You want that. You want people thinking, hey, the storyline, the canon has introduced some people wanting the world title, so I can believe them if they're one of the final 6, 7 people in the match that they might win. That is good booking. But it also creates a little ambiguity if you're just following the product and guessing who's going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Tagar Log in the chat says Sami Zayn's time will come, but not now. There's still some storylines needing to be resolved. Yep. All right, cool. Ian, what else?
I mean, yeah, kind of switching over to the women's side. I wasn't too happy with Becky winning. I think Maxine could have held on to it, maybe up to Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. With Liv Morgan coming back, do you think she finally gets her Rumble win, or you think they're going with the rumor of Bianca Belair becoming a 2-time Rumble winner?
Griffin.
Sorry, I was reading some stuff in the chats. You're going to have to ask that again. My apologies.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. With Liv coming back after 7 months, do you think she wins the Rumble this year? Or do they go with the rumor of Bianca Belair being a 2-time and facing Jade Cargill at WrestleMania?
I think with a Jade heel turn, I do hope that Bianca Belair is better for that match, whether she needs to win the Royal Rumble to get there. She's already won the Rumble. I think it'd be great for Liv to win it. But I don't know if you want to go with it that fast. Stephanie Vacour, do you want Stephanie losing to Liv? Where there's a lot of story in Liv and Perez that in the Judgment Day that I think you can play out. I don't know that she needs the title right now to be the big star.
I think Bianca would be where I'd put my money right now, but there are other ways to get to that match. And I think there should be some other people who tell the story where it's believable they'd be the one to win. But Belair's been off TV for a long time. It seems like they're probably strategically not bringing her back as soon as she could come back so that there can be a big moment. And it makes sense to be in the Rumble. And I don't know if you want her gone that long and have her come up short unless there's a storyline within the match that makes it seem like something was taken away from her that she was about to earn.
It's been about a year, hasn't it? She's been gone? Maybe longer?
I don't think it's been longer. I don't know. Chat, look it up for us real quick because I'm not sure right off the top of my head. But it's been a long time, especially for a hand injury. But, you don't – I'm told it's the type of injury you don't want to re-injure unless there's something else that came up since then. What I had heard is it's not the kind of injury you want to re-injure because it can just cause mangling and nerve damage that's irreparable. So the idea was even though it's sort of like, when someone says, oh, I have turf toe, like, oh, big deal. It's like, no, that's debilitating. You can't walk, you can't turn, you can screw up your knee if you do. There's all kinds of things that go wrong with the turf toe. So you got to let it fully heal. And so, I don't know. It was indicated to me it's kind of one of those things you don't want to take a chance on it. But that said, I think she's probably been ready for a little bit.
Yeah, I think even a social media post where it's supposed to be kind of a throw you off the trail, like look at my finger and how rough it's been on healing. So, but yeah, I do think there's 2 titles, and I think she has won the Royal Rumble before. If I'm correct, she's won the Rumble.
Yeah, I think it was 2021.
Yeah, so I'd like to see somebody else is going to face Vacour, but you also like to see a babyface win, so we'll see. But yeah, I think the smart money's on Belair.
Yep.
Yeah. Last thing, real quick. I know it's kind of the elephant in the room. Jericho. I know he was heavily rumored. Do you think that kind of hurt Raw's momentum towards the end with Jericho not coming out like he was rumored to be?
Well, maybe don't pay attention to rumors if you don't want to be disappointed as people go for
I never believe the
clicks.
rumors until I see it.
I'm not talking to you in general. So. It was a logical thing to assume might line up and then report it so you can have a scoop and get a lot of clicks and earn a little extra money for your corporate overlords who oversee the website that you freelance for. I don't know. I didn't report it. I didn't hear Jericho was going to be here tonight. You didn't hear me talk about it.
No,
So-
I heard. I think I heard something like he was rumored to be in the same area, and that's what kind of
Yeah.
led to that speculation
Yeah.
that he was going to join the Vision and cost Punk the title and be the new leader of the Vision, lead to a Seth Jericho feud or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only
hear
If I had social media when I was 12, man, would I have had some great ideas about what was about to happen on a wrestling show I was about to watch.
the one thing that I saw was the Adam Pearce saying who could break the walls down.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's what everyone was like, "Oh gosh, he's going to be
I'm like,
there."
hey, maybe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's part of the fun is saying maybe, and is it going to happen, and seeing when it happens, and the surprise of when it does. So just watch the show.
Well, Sadler version 3 says, I felt the Rumble surprise. What Rumble surprise makes more sense for Jericho? I think Pierce had a line on social media that faked people out about Jericho possibly returning. And Tagar Laura says, well, after Adam Pearce said break the walls down and nothing came of it, his reputation will never, ever be the same again. 7-Eleven says, my money's on Jericho in the Rumble.
Yeah, I think he'll probably do.
Will he be able to get there and be a surprise though with flights and all of that stuff? Is
he can drive in the
That's
back
true.
of someone's beat up minivan, and then walk in, be rolled in a big crate if they want to keep it secret. I mean, it can be done. I don't know how important
It's done.
surprise is.
I mean, I think the Hardys was the last big surprise. So back in
but that was
2017.
in Saudi Arabia though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
David Hager says WWE sold a ton of late ticks in the last 72 hours because of all that Jericho tease by Pierce. There you go. It's all about the money.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Also, David Hager says, I think Jericho in Saturday's main event is
Ooh.
surprise in Canada. 'Cause,
Ooh, I didn't
good-
think of that.
Goodfella said, but Jericho debuting in Saudi Arabia. Also, Brian, good to have some new people in the chat here. Brian B says Graves had a learning tree reference too. So
I didn't
WWE
catch that.
WWE's being playful. They are being playful with this. To answer your question seriously, Ian, I don't think it hurts. But I don't think it registers. It hurts a little. I mean, because if you're sitting around waiting for that and it doesn't happen, you've saved your energy for that. I mean, then you're let down. You're like, oh God, now we're just seeing, it makes it seem like, oh, now we're just seeing the Vision against Punk, or Breaker Punk. You want people to be most excited about what's actually going to really happen. So, but I don't think it registers in a way. It's not often enough, and I just don't think it's something to worry about. I guess if I'm WWE, I wouldn't play into it just to sell some extra tickets, but whatever.
You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I mean,
All right, cool. Anything else, Ian?
The last thing I wasn't. You guys kind of mentioned already. I wasn't too happy with Becky winning the belt. I don't think it does anything for Becky, but that's just my personal opinion. I think it kind of hurts Maxine in the long run. But I mean, we'll see with that. We'll see what they do with that.
By the way, our Larcher says they got playful with CM Punk's return before he arrived, so it's not unprecedented in that way. Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I don't know if I don't believe enough. I mean, I don't think Maxine Dupree is as horrible and awful as some people say. I think she's been
no. She's I mean, even in that match, I was surprised with how well she was doing in that match against Becky. So
I don't think she's ready to carry a singles title long term, though.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the money is, AJ getting the shot at Becky for the belt. So
yeah, that's true.
I think it's just it was Link's side quest that day.
Yeah.
That Becky was going to lose that belt and then regain it.
I think Maxine gets something from this title reign. I think she should lose. I don't think she's ready for a long title reign, but I think she gained something from how she carried herself. She's at a higher point, but I don't think she's at a point where she should be a long running secondary champion. I think there's other stories to tell with her and see if she can get better along the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Cool. Ian,
All
do you
right,
remember
fellas?
Do you remember how long ago the first time was you called the show?
The first time?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it had to have been. I think it was Kofi Mania back in 2019. Yes, because it was. This is gonna throw me off. This was that gauntlet that they did with the New Day, and they were leading up to the Miz Shane McMahon feud, and that was when Miz beat Sanity 1-on-3 in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Where
Don't
did that
let
memory come from?
Don't let
great
your
callback.
wife see that clip because she's going to give you crap for something you didn't remember yesterday.
That's true. No, I mean, we were talking about, because we're going to NXT Live in January 29th when they're coming here to Knoxville. And she was like, when was the first Raw you went to? And I said, it was 2014 with The Authority and Daniel Bryan. And it was the Monday before Payback, and the Shield and the Evolution was feuding. And she was like, how in the world did you just remember that? I said, I could not tell you, honestly. So.
Yep, that's great. Awesome. Ian, cool. It's great when you call in.
Always great, guys. Always appreciate it.
Blog Talk Radio originals, so it's good to hear your voice.
Yes, I need to call more. It's been way too long.
Yeah, it'd be great. Fist pump for me in there for our audio listeners.
All right,
Ian, thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thank you,
have
guys.
a good week, I should say. Yep.
You too.
All right. Let's bring Sean from Tennessee into the program. Speaking of long running, do you have Ian beat Sean? Who came first? You or Ian?
No, Ian came way before me.
Yeah, I
have to give him all props. Yeah, he was, because I think you did the 15 years ago, and I think he was on some of them, and I'm like, dang, he was on a long time ago. Wow, that's impressive. So I can't beat that. But I've been on for a while, but I can't beat that. Can't beat it.
Definitely.
I've got some questions on those 15 and 20 years ago.
Do you? Okay.
Remember Wade giving me crap because I asked some question about pot becoming legal and if that would affect wrestlers being able to pass it on a drug test, and he just gave me a bunch of crap for being a pothead.
Is that true?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you high when you called?
No, I didn't even smoke back then.
Okay. You waited for it to be legal. I get it.
I actually did. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm in Colorado, man. It's been legal for a long time.
That's true. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Griffin, it's good to talk to you, man. I haven't been on a show with you, obviously, so it's good to talk with you, for sure. I always wanted to bring up I'm glad you brought up Maxine at the end, because I had my thoughts on that. I wanted to bring it up first since we're already talking about her. I thought going into the match, the one thing I've noticed the last couple weeks, because when Maxine first had the reaction when she was in Sacramento, her hometown, obviously she got a great reaction. And since then, it's waned a lot. I mean, the fans are not really behind her. And that's what I think they were like, even if they were already going that route, I think they said, we got to just put it on Becky anyway, because it's just not work. I mean, Maxine has gotten a lot better. I like the promos she's been cutting. I don't know, like, and the finish of the match sucked. Number one, because I just don't like that kind of a finish. Number two, Maxine, it's like, okay, you're trying to pretend you're street smart and you're, in the ring, you're trying to do the MMA stuff, but then you're laying on the ground and you just get your arms pinned for 3. It's like, come on, you should know to put your arm up. Like, really? I mean, it was just dumb. It made her look dumb. It's like, come on, that's not the way to finish a match. Yeah, Becky, and I know Zach Haydorn has been on with you saying this, and I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. Talk about the heat she's trying to get, and they don't do that. Yeah. They just worry about she won. Yeah, look at her, the way she won it. And it's like, that's a bad way to win a title. What are we doing here? So all those things drove me entirely nuts about that finish. Just not good.
Griffin, are you there? He stepped away. That's fine. Oh yeah. So how'd you feel about the finish itself of the way back?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, and I was enjoying the match, and then the finish happened, and it's like, oh, Becky's the champ. That's kind of what I expected. I expected her to go back to being the champ. I do think the long-term money's in her being the champ, and it was a side quest to give it to Maxine and legitimize her a little bit. And I think that worked out really well for her. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, there are side quests sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, Jey Uso was a long side quest, like, with the world title. I mean, sometimes they go longer than maybe was planned. Kofi. Yeah. I mean, there's other ones that are more mid-card than world title based, but yeah, I mean, I advocated for a side quest for Titus O'Neil once. I thought he should be pushed for like 3 weeks before he, like when he was popular, but people didn't know he was more clumsy than Maxine Dupree in her rookie matches. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And then going back to the Rhea Io, which you guys were talking about earlier, which I wanted to talk about that a little bit too, I'm with. And here's the bad part about this, and I've said this, I'm an Io fan, and I think, Griffin, you are too. Like, we're huge Io fans, huge. And I think if you're going to build if they're going to build to a Rhea Io match, which again I would be all for if they do it the right way. The sad part is I almost want it won't happen because it looks weird with Io as a heel and Rhea as a face. It wouldn't work. But I just think I almost want Io to be a heel because I want her to be serious, and she's not serious right now. It's just she's acting like a joke, and I she's not a joke. Like, she's great in the ring. Like, she's so fun to. You could really get behind somebody like that, but then they just have Rhea and Io going so over the top with it, and so it just takes me out of it. And I know Rude Dog says it feels like it's more genuine. I mean, maybe it is, but it's just too much. And I want Rhea to. I just don't understand. I also don't want. I didn't want them winning the tag titles. Number one, because I don't really like them together. Number one, anyway. Number two, the tag team titles have felt like an afterthought for so long. They just go back and forth to people, and it just doesn't feel important with anybody having them. And three, it's just like, I want Rhea to have something bigger. Like, she's one of the bigger stars on your TV. We need to be seeing something with her that feels big. And this right now, even though the fans are behind them, I get it, but it's not what I want to see Rhea doing. I want to see a big time match with them build to something big with her. So were you guys fine with them winning the titles, or would you have just had Kabuki Warriors retain? I would have just had Kabuki Warriors retain and just move on with something else, but I don't know where they're going.
I think it can work either way. I mean, it's not a strong answer. I don't have a strong view. I mean, I think you can make it work either way. I have to see what story they're telling. Did they have somebody lined up for the Kabuki Warriors if they won and got rid of these number one contenders?
Probably not.
And if not, then you would hope that they would have, if the goal was for them to, if the plan was for them to retain the titles, you'd hope there'd be this other thing going on where you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Now I can't wait to see these other contenders face them. So in that sense, maybe it's good to move it to them. But I think it's a story arc. I don't know exactly how, but it's a story arc of Io and Rhea eventually having a battle of two best friends battling, for a singles title. I don't think it will make sense for either of them to turn. Sadler Vision 3 goes, I'm more offended by Io Sky acting like a middle school child than Wade was about Bianca Belair's ring entrance.
Oh, it's close. It's close.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. She very much a kid character in what she is. Like her little point to the head, acting silly. It just undermines how much of a badass she is.
That's the thing. You want adults to show. I don't need adults to be uptight all the time, and uptight's probably too strict of a word. But like, you want to see them loosening up sometimes, but you don't want that to be the only thing you see. Like, you want to get a sense that Io is a professional who takes her craft seriously, and a title match is serious. Even when she celebrates a big move, it does have a little bit of a performative, overlay that doesn't feel like an athlete celebrating. It feels like a performer playing the part of someone celebrating a move. And I don't know. I mean, it could just be, bad acting. But Tagar Laga says Io Sky's been the best female wrestler of this era, but if she wants to remain a face and be aggressive, do a callback to her Stardom gimmick. So there's this other side to Io that, they could tap into. Maybe maybe they're being so over the top in their friendliness to each other because they want it to be more shocking when Io does show a different side of herself. And maybe that's what they're, building up to in their kind of heavy-handed way. I don't know.
I just see this as a carryover of Vince McMahon, like just over the top, cling on to that one thing and push it.
Yeah. If they're going to build, again, that's my only thing. If they build to this match, which I'm all in for, Rhea has not beaten her yet.
Yep.
That's the story. I'm all for it. I just want Io to be a more real character that I can invest in, and I can be invested in both of them in a serious way. That's all I want. I don't want this jokiness. WWE goes into the jokiness too much, and I don't like it. It turns me away. Then it does. It does that more than it brings me in and invests me in it. So that's kind of the thing I want with her, and with with the Usos. I'll just say,
okay, can I? Before you go to the Usos, the loss for the Kabuki Warriors, there's a story in there where Asuka has been bullying Kairi Sane, and I do think Kairi Sane, when she turns babyface, is going to be massive for her. So there's a story in there, and you have to get the titles off of them to tell that story.
Yeah, that's fair. That they could
take the fall tonight. did Kerry take the fall tonight, or did Asuka?
Oh gosh. I believe Kyrie did.
Yeah.
No, Asuka did.
Oh,
I just looked at my
gosh.
report.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Sky leaped onto Kyrie through the ropes, and then Ripley scored a 3 count on Asuka.
That's right. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Yeah. And yeah, no, that'd be good. That'd be fine too. Yeah, because Asuka's, I mean, over the top, but she's a good heel. I mean, Asuka needs to be a heel right now. She's better in that role, even though it's over the top, but she's better as a heel.
Asuka as a heel is my favorite thing in the women's division. I love Asuka.
I think it takes away from that, Griffin, by having EO act the way she does and Kyrie. The three of them together at times acted in a way it just felt like, who's producing this, and it is insulting. 7-Eleven says it's anime and adds, I don't mind it. There's too many serious gimmicks as is. I think it's important to point out, it's not about them being serious all the time. It's just showing that there's a slice of them that is serious when the time is right. But maybe in a match there is just enough of that. Maybe there's just enough of that. Let's see. Also in the chat,
you love to talk about the Public Enemy. You know, Public Enemy knew how to shift gears between silly and violent.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Thank you. Rude Dog says, unfortunately, WWE has booked Asian wrestlers for years this way of overacting. Derek Mitchell goes, maybe EO's auditioning for WWE's cartoon show, WWE Camp. So,
oh gosh,
he's here all week. Everybody.
He also said that
tip the waitress.
He also said the WWE Women's Tag Titles have changed hands 33 times already since they've got it. They invented them, so not good. If you're I would love for them to build up the tag team division, but they're not going to. That's just not what they're doing. They don't want to. They don't care. They don't think about it. They just, we'll have tag teams. We'll have them switch championships every once in a while. We'll tell a little story here or there, a little mini, but we're building toward a singles feud somewhere with someone, and that's just what they do. That's what they're there for.
Controller Flex in the chat says EO did a great job selling that back stump for Kyrie. Stump from Kyrie, though.
Was she on the ropes for a long time? Like, I felt like she was just laying there forever. God,
not my favorite,
man.
Not my favorite spot. Yeah, no, for that reason, to get to it, just get to it. Like, if someone's balancing on the ropes, or you're doing the top rope walk, or someone's leaning back with their feet in the corner to get stomped on, you've got to turn up the jets. You've got to account for how unrealistic it is for viewers watching that spot. I've seen it done, rarely, infrequently well. All right.
So I don't want to bring up too real quick about Stephanie Vaquer. Again, saying this in retrospect, I'm a fan. I like Stephanie Vaquer. I think she's going to be a big star. The reactions are not as good as I was hoping for.
Right.
Again, if I would have done it, just going back, I think they really need to tell a story with her winning at Mania. I really think they needed to build to that. That's where they should have gone. Her winning the title. They do this so many people, Wade, you know this. They put titles on people way too quickly. And their goal is, I guess, like you said, they're trying to make they feel like a big deal. And I get that. But there's stories you need to tell with some of these people where you need to build up to them winning a title. And her is just way too fast. And now it's like there's people that I would want Liv to win, but like if you're having Cody, I've said I think Cody's going to lose at Mania. So I don't know if you could have Cody and Vaquer both lose at Mania. It's like I don't know if you want to do that.
I think over 2 nights you can. I don't think, especially because I don't think people are invested in Vaquer enough.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I wish so during Vaquer's segment and during every time they had the luchadors in the back. Why are we not embracing subtitles? Like, we should subtitle the foreign wrestlers, what they're saying, let us in. Like, we all have Netflix. Most of Netflix is watch Squid Game. Like, it's a subtitled show. We're used to it. People watch anime with subtitles. Subtitle the wrestlers so we know what they're saying.
Yeah. Good point. Because
that would help.
Because she speaks good enough English where you could just let her. I mean, I know she does it, go Spanish here or there, but just you're better. You're getting better at English. Just do that. I mean, I think it's fine.
When people talk, if she's talking Spanish, she's much more comfortable, and the emoting is there, and there's a big part of the audience that understands Spanish. But you're pushing it. You're pushing the patience of viewers. I know they're not worried about minute by minute numbers on Netflix, and that I'm thankful for that actually. But there is something about it that's not clicking for all her talent, and I don't know that this is the best presentation of the options that I would have. This isn't the option I would have voted for, especially with knowledge of how it's gone, including, like you say, Sean, winning the title as quickly as she did before people had that bond with her. I think they're just trying to say she's that good. But, wrestling's about caring about people, not just someone being good.
Yeah, and going back to the Usos, again, I'm kind of speaking out both sides of my mouth because the Usos as a tag team are fantastic. We know that. They're fantastic. I mean, they just play off each other so well. But man, I know that when you go there, I haven't been there when Jay's done this. It probably is fantastic with all the kids, and it is. The kids get into it, and I understand all of that, and I'm okay with that where they're going there. But I just think it's over. I just want Jay. When do you think? How do you think this is going to play out? Because I just want Jay to be a serious character again, like he was in the Bloodline, and this isn't doing it for me. It's just not. I want Jay to. I don't know how they tell that story. I don't know how long they're going to. I hope it's sooner rather than later, though. I hope they don't play this out too long. But the bad part is you might have a Jay Jimmy match, and I don't want that either. But they might want to do something with this.
They might want to prove on what happened last time. I think they're doing a good job making us think they're not doing anything other than the Usos back together, celebrating their babyface tag team. And to the point where I'm almost believing that is a legit option now instead of, and credit to them. I mean, if they're lowering our guard before something happens, you have, I guess Bailey snapping a little. I mean, Jay's different enough, but you want to tell, I think there's a long enough story arc. WrestleMania is a long ways off. The Usos could have a fun 2.5 month run before anything comes up that makes it seem like Jay is starting to lose his composure again or Jimmy's concerned. So, I don't know. I mean, if the Usos have a couple month run with the tag belts and there's no hints of dissension until they lose, and then suddenly Jay's like, I'm a loser. And Jimmy's like, stop it. You're too, I'm tired of you being a victim. Stop being, you win some, you lose some. We should be proud. Like you told them, you should be proud of your last year. Don't lament that you lost. Celebrate that you won and held it with honor. There's a story to tell, but we can wait till March for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Usos. I think as a big fan of tag team wrestling, I think they're the greatest tag team ever. I think twin brothers know each other so well. They're a wrestling dynasty family. They've learned from all the other teams of the past, and they've taken all the other ones and improved on it. I think they're a fantastic tag team. I think Jimmy is underrated. I hope Jimmy comes out of this being, a little bit more, he was the first one that showed real personality out of the Usos, and it goes back to the Diva show. I'd watch I love anything that I can get my wife to watch wrestling with me. So I'd watch the whatever that Diva, what was the name of the show? Something Divas.
Total Divas.
Total Divas. Yeah. It's a relic of the past, and that's good. But Jimmy was my favorite part of that. He showed real personality. So, I do want to see Jimmy go heel, Jay go heel again.
Yeah.
I think it will happen. We've seen the allusions to it. The entrance is awesome. I was at SmackDown a month ago or so, and man, it was a lot of fun being in the crowd. But he complains about, I'm not just an entrance. Well, show me that you don't need to rerun your entrance every time, and you are more than an entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Jason D. 318, Jason Australia says, Jay will turn on Jimmy, then Sammy will try to interject and find out what's going on, and then Jay will snap verbally on Sammy. In the end, my money is on Jay against Sammy. So that's an option. That's an option.
I like that.
I like it a lot. Yeah. I want to say, Wade, what you were talking about with Unreal, I'm with you 100%. I don't want to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. People are going to watch it. Griffin, you're right. People are going to watch it. I think it's not what I want to see. It's not, I don't want to dig into that world. I want to watch the show and just enjoy the show for what it is. And I just think people, again, you can do whatever you want. I just don't see why you'd want to immerse yourself in that. I just don't get it. I get it, but I don't.
I get it. This is the thing, Sean. Like, I'll disagree a little bit with you, and even though we're largely on the same side, I don't disagree. And I said, that's why I interrupted Griff when he first started talking. I'm not contending people won't like this show or won't watch it. I think people are fascinated by it. I just don't think WWE should be in the business of giving ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to 5-year-olds. They're going to be sick. Like, I just, like, 5-year-olds would love to have ice cream for breakfast before school, but it's not a good idea, and you don't do it for that reason. WWE, yes, there's an audience. They want this. Oh, pull the curtain back. I want to know everything. There's money in the mystique, and they're selling it short. They're selling it out for this documentary shoulder content, short run, once a year thing, and then you spend the rest of the year compromised. And why? Because they think they're the same thing as all these others. They're so desperate to be, oh, we're the same as Hollywood. We don't want to be in some separate category. You are in a separate category. Embrace it. Do you know how many separate people in separate categories wish that they could create a world where they could get away with not feeling a responsibility to pull the curtain back? There's people in, like, if in MMA, like, this notion of, well, MMA can't control who the best fighters are. Pro wrestling promoters can, because they book finishes. Like, obviously you have to have a certain baseline competence. But otherwise, you get to control who wins and loses. So I don't know. I do know. I don't think the fact that there's an audience that will eat it up, Sean, even if you don't want to watch it, and Jason from Australia doesn't want to watch it, a lot of people don't want to watch it, even if it does really good numbers, that does not undercut my argument. It tangentially validates it. I just don't. The fact that people want to watch it is one of my arguments against it. There's value in the mystique. I'm with Paul Heyman on this one, or he's with me. Yeah.
I like the concept of the show. I just wish it wasn't. I wish they didn't build drama for the show. I'd rather see, how we set up WrestleMania.
There you go. Yeah.
Or
the R-Truth story. You can tell that there's no fourth wall break in there.
No,
and you can film it in a way like there's no rule that Unreal needs to be real. Like, I begrudge WWE pretending something is real that isn't, because now you're back to being carny. But you can choose what to include. It's like you've got the unauthorized biography and you've got the autobiography. And the Rockstar's autobiography is not the same thing as the unauthorized biography from a third party. Like, there's going to be curating and editing. And so if WWE wants to tell the R-Truth story and pull the curtain back, you're not going to get the full version of it that is objective, but you'll get their version of it, and it'll feel, we get to see Truth's reaction, locker room's reaction, him being fired. Okay, that's cool. That's pulling the curtain back in a way that doesn't undercut anything else going on. So there's so many opportunities for that. Like, like Griffin, you were saying, building up, how does WrestleMania work? Like, there's behind the scenes stuff. They've done that before. I don't think that's as tantalizing on its own to be the only thing they do, but I think it can be part of what they do with this show. Yeah. I think you can even show a writer's room and aspects of it, but the snippets of the conversation, and this is where I get into the note, and I'll put the comments up before I lead to the writer's room comment. Derek Mitchell says, Unreal seems like a vehicle to promote Triple H being the booker. Jason D. from Australia goes, it's a vehicle to show Triple H as a mastermind in the background pulling the strings, plus to prove to others in the entertainment industry, we're just like you. And that's my issue with it, is I think they're trying to prove something that is for their own egos or insecurities more than it is serving the product and the wrestlers who work hard on their craft. But you can show a writer's room, but the writer's room debate, and it can be staged or just curated. It should be, I think this match should go on last. I think we should save this match for the PLE and not put it on Raw. I think that, so there's a way to, or we shouldn't, I think we've had Gunther on TV 2 weeks in a row. I think a third week, the audience won't want to see it. Let's not book him. All of that could be there are things that if wrestling were really real, or fans want to talk themselves into being real, they could imagine that being a conversation that would happen in a world where pro wrestling was real. So you can show the writers, they want to get their face on camera, and you want to show some debate. It doesn't have to be about a finish. It doesn't have to be with the word storyline put in there. It can be about show formatting. Is there a way to make that sexy and tantalizing? I don't know. Probably. I mean, but that's the kind of thing where if the writers are desperate to show, hey, there's a lot of work that goes into formatting the show, you should appreciate it. Bruce Pritchard, you wouldn't believe the timing issues. It's like walking a tightrope. Great. I mean, I appreciate that. I think it's a skill. I don't know that I need have a whole segment on WWE Unreal having you talk about how we've polished the timing issue of putting on a TV show. but it got him on TV, and then they could make fun of Chris Park and humiliate him to their jollies and like and pushing someone in a pool. That's the stuff that I think there's a way to do it and do it where it's 90% as interesting as it is now and have none of the negative.
Yeah, I agree. And wait, I was going to sidebar when we were talking about Ian. So when I first called into the show back in the day, I was talking about when Bayley won the title, which was still the stupidest thing ever. I still don't understand why she won the title as quick as she did. But did I ever tell you that I actually called on Taz's show and was actually live with Taz talking about it on his show back in the day?
I believe it.
I was so mad about it. I was just like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. What are we doing? So I was like, I got to get on Taz's show. And I was like, I'm calling in, and I waited maybe half an hour, and I got on live with them. And I remember I went back and watched it to see how dumb I sounded on that. But it was just fun, like talking about how mad I was about Bayley winning the title right away. I was like, what are we? Oh God!
I get an email every week, Sean, going, "How can you have that Sean on after that don't call to the Taz show all those years ago?"
Well, there's probably people that don't like me, and it's okay.
I'm totally joking, yeah.
But anyway, I want to say real quick too, going back to the match, the main event, really good match. The one thing I'll say, you guys were talking about the tough spots on their heads, and that's one thing WWE's really been good at doing is they can have a good WWE style match, which all people argue against it. Whatever, people just want to argue. I like WWE style matches. They're fine. They're not all the greatest, but they work for me for what I'm invested in story wise and what they do. So,
and it's okay to have both. It's okay to have big drama. It's okay to have big risk and video game matches. What's not okay is to have them risk their lives and ability to walk when they're in their 40s. Yeah.
It's okay to have authentic Mexican restaurant at the strip mall and a Tex-Mex chain 2 blocks down. I mean, it's like, oh, the people who go to the authentic Mexican restaurant, like, oh, look at those people going to Tex-Mex. Oh, let's laugh at them. It's like, they're popular for a reason. It's okay. Like, you can, like you said, Griff, you can have more than one style. And I mean, there's good and bad in all the styles, and it's total personal preference. Chikara is a thing. People love it. It's not selling out stadiums, but let them be what they are. Atsushi Onita.
It's fun.
Yeah. So GCW, I mean, it's just whatever. Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to the JCW show in a couple of weeks.
There we go.
I want to talk about a different type of ride.
That'd be fun to hear about that. Yeah.
Top 5 article, I'm sure.
We're on pretty quick here, Sean, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, so I just hope they don't start getting to where they start taking more risks in these matches, because they just don't have to. It was such a good match without it. Didn't need it. So appreciate being on with you guys. It's always a blast. I hope to be on. I won't be on Friday only because Indiana, I lived in Indiana, so Indiana playing in the semifinals of the playoff. I'll be watching more of that live, but I'll definitely hopefully get on and hear your show afterwards. So always fun.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't. But we will cancel the show because you won't be available, Sean. Man.
Well, Griffin, fun talking to you. I appreciate everybody on here.
No, thank you so much. Always great. Thanks, Sean.
Good to see you guys.
I assume that was college football. Was that college football, Griffin? Do you know? I don't either. Good.
Hey, I always tell people I only watch my sports predetermined.
Sounds good. By the way, Jack Reed wants to know, I don't know if he's still alive. He posted this a while ago, but Griffin, do you sell things on your website too?
Yeah, I was commenting earlier when I was caught not listening to the question. But yeah, nerdstalgia.shop. There's a Macari store on there. There's a link. You can get to a lot of the merchandise. Best thing to do is just send me a message through socials or at the very bottom of the website. Send me a message into what you're interested in because it's hard to put it in both places, on the shelf and on the website sometimes, where we're at as a business.
You could do a weekly video walkthrough of your merch in your store and let people just go, ooh, that thing at the 3-minute, 12-second mark in the upper left corner. Is that what I think it is?
So you could just follow my TikTok at Nerdstalgia Shop, and I do those little walkthrough videos where I just have my camera showing stuff in the store.
Great
I'll
minds
be
think
doing
alike.
one tomorrow. I just got it in. I bought a TNA World Championship belt signed by Moose and Josh Alexander. So I'll be putting that up at the store.
Nice. Deacon Derek Mitchell says, Griffin, is that Bigfoot, a.k.a. Andre the Giant from the $6 million man behind you on the top shelf?
Oh, on the
You had a different camera angle earlier.
Camera angle earlier. I think that's actually my Brother Love action figure because he is kind of posed like a Sasquatch with his mic.
Funny. That's great. That's great. Okay. Let's see.
Hey, one quick news thing on before you read the next question. One thing that, and I sent you an email. It was on the international feed, and I don't know why they didn't say anything on the regular feed.
Yeah.
Because those old VPN things. I always try to watch that one when I watch it live to see what happens during commercial breaks. And Javon Evans, they had a contract signing, so he's officially on Raw now. So he came out with Adam Pearce, and they had like a little 1-minute segment where they introduced him and signed a contract, and he walked back to the back.
It is weird they didn't include that in the show and left it for social media or news sites or whatever to promote. Yeah, that wasn't on the main feed. Interesting. Michael Rubin in the chat said, do you have old programs on the site? I think he said that around the time I talked about the interview with Matt McCarthy and all the past podcasts. They're all on demand with a VIP membership. So we have a whole section of over 100 interviews with ex-creative team members that I conducted over 15 years. And it's just on a sidebar, and it's in a special section. There's rabbit holes everywhere. So yeah, just about everything we've done, other than the lost 900 numbers from the 90s, which I'm bummed about. I wish I had the technology to save those, because covering the Monday Night War with daily news insider updates would have been a blast to listen back to. I was hoping some obsessed like rich kid who had 10,000 microcassettes or something recorded those back in the day and would send them to me. That'd be fun. I had like 2 of them on microcassette that I posted back in the day. Anyway, so yeah, they're pretty much everything's on demand. And then we run our VIP vault too, where on a regular basis we put up shows from 18 years ago, pay-per-view roundtables, Wade Keller hotlines, Bruce Mitchell audio shows, that kind of thing. All right. So, Griffin, I'll throw to you. Is there, not that there isn't more I can bring up, but is there anything in particular you want to bring up in our kind of remaining minutes here?
No, I think the Javon Evans thing was definitely one that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Man, that kid's a massive talent. Love seeing him get called up. It's always, hopefully they'll use them well when they get the call up, because, man, he's a special one.
He's already, in a way, been called up and used well, but not fully. This validates what they're doing with him. What did you think of, in the main event itself, the interference of the Vision, the Austin Theory stomp, Logan Paul Heyman getting involved, taking a bump? What are we doing burying the headline this far into the show? Paul Heyman took a bump.
Yeah,
I've said that is the deciding factor between being the best manager ever, for sure, or you can make a case for Bobby the Brain. I know the airs are different, and what Heyman has done in so many ways is massively more than Bobby Heenan.
Great bumps,
but Heenan's bumps were so good, and he was my first heel manager I saw, like vintage AWA Bobby Heenan taking bumps. Oh yeah, God, people who saw him in WWF don't know how they saw 1/4 of who Bobby Heenan was, and if you only see WWF version of him. That said, Paul Heyman took a bump, so that was cool. He was very, very getting in Punk's face. It's always tough for Punk or any babyface to be distracted in the middle of a world title defense by someone on the ring apron who's not a physical threat. So I would kind of frown at that spot a little bit. I thought Punk handled it okay. The announcer kind of covered. Like, Punk just can't stand to hear Heyman yap at him anymore. But it's a world title match. Just like stay focused on that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. But the question to you, as we incorporate Ray and Dragon Lee and Penta into it too, I think they're setting up a 6-man tag or a tag team feud too, Griffin.
Yeah, I'd love to see the new Lucha Party against the 3 in the Vision. I think that'd be great. I think my favorite spot in the match, and I thought about it earlier when we were talking about something else, and wanted to bring it back up, when Punk had him in the Anaconda Vice and Breaker powered out, and he like stood up into a collar and elbow lockup, and they were like forehead to forehead and getting up. Really cool spot in the match. You knew the Vision was going to be involved. it happened pretty quick. How came the Lucha faction to run them off? I think that'll be a great trios match. And, it'd be fun to see a real trios match in a WWE setting too, because 3 luchadors on that side, letting them really run like a lucha trio would be kind of fun.
Yeah. I don't know what the pace is of what they're doing with Breaker coming back from this, or how they're going to react to it. I think that's one top story. But coming out of this, and I think the reason they booked the match with as much interference as they did is they do want to have Penta, back after some time off with an exciting team that they can promote as a very exciting team against Theory, Logan, and Reed. If they had this in mind, it kind of explains some of the timing of bringing Theory in. Griffin, what have you thought of Austin Theory, the way he carries himself,
His
what he did tonight?
His presentation last week was awesome. The entrance was great. His promos have been great. He's made the most of his minutes. He's done really well. Backing up to Penta for a second, there was a moment when he was talking to Ray that I got this feeling that long term, I would not see a dark Penta turning on Ray and seeing a heel Penta versus Ray.
Yeah, really. I mean, I feel like Penta fans are going to want him to have a good, healthy, dedicated run as a charismatic babyface before you start messing with it in any way. But I mean,
he's a hell of a heel.
I know. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, thanks to Will D for the super chat. Will D 8438. Really appreciate that. Everyone's welcome to super chat and help support us. Sean, now we're going to get me off wrestling talk. He goes, my Packers are limping into the playoffs. I know they didn't try last night against my Vikings, but the Vikings were like so out of the playoffs, and they're not in the playoffs, and they're a half a game away from being in the playoffs because your Packers are limping in. If you're only a half a game ahead of the Vikings with all the issues they had this year with quarterback injuries, you have nothing to be proud of. But congratulations also. I know I don't really mean that when it comes to the Packers. It's my job as a Minnesotan to not, even if I have relatives who are into them. That is a border battle for sure.
I will say there was a year you got me to watch football. You and Jason Powell.
Really?
Yeah, and it was the first year Favre came to Minnesota. And just the passion, the fun. I'm like, this is a fun story. And I was in for that season, and they had a great season. And so, yeah, you turned me into a football fan for a night.
That's funny. That's great. I was quite.
Then I started working Sundays again and have no time for that.
If Aaron Rodgers had been signed by the Vikings instead of that Pittsburgh Baltimore game was amazing. I know you're not. It's fine, Griffin. You can ignore this part, but if people have that on DVR and you like, it's too late. Everyone knows the score. I didn't know the outcome when I watched it on delay a little bit. My mom texted and said, "You got to tune this in. Just watch the last 15 minutes, if nothing else." That was crazy drama. Deacon Derek Mitchell says, Bobby Heenan and Nick Bockwinkel was the best manager wrestler combo ever. I will agree with that. But it'd be a fun, long-term fan historian list to come up with like each era's kind of best and why, with some honorable mentions. Because, Heyman and Reigns is amazing. I mean, a lot of Heyman ones. I don't know. People had their favorite from their territories.
Sounds like a future top 5 article. That'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Javon Sean from Tennessee says Javon can be a little over the top, but I like him a ton.
He's 21, man. He's going to be over the top. He's 21. He's figuring life out.
Yeah. Standard Aviation says Austin Theory and Logan Paul had an interview during the ad break too. Austin Theory acted like the alpha, held out his hand, and Logan passed him the mic. Interesting. And he says it was solid. So there you go. The Austin Theory project continues. I wrote about that in the VIP Wade Keller news bulletin for VIP members today, the PDF text version and audio version. We do all 3 formats for that new feature in recent months. And one of the sidebars was what Paul Heyman said about what he does. This was on the Stephanie podcast. And I commented on what he said he does to try to elevate the performances of the guys he works with. And so I related that to what we're seeing with Braun Breaker's big push and the kind of reclamation project that is Austin Theory. Last Friday, the VIP Wade Keller News Bulletin had a top story on Austin Theory. I mentioned that earlier, focused on the why the Cena thing didn't work, but why this is different, and they should be kind of judged independently of each other. And I got into that, including comments from Theory himself and Cena. I think it's fascinating seeing people on journeys getting a chance to figure themselves out. We saw Liv Morgan get a ton of retries and redos, and now she's in a good spot. So I don't know, sometimes you are what you are. And
I would have thought Dominic Mysterio would have been out quick after that first year, but my God, he's the future of wrestling. He's so good.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's see.
That's the fun of watching this stuff and seeing them develop. When you've watched as many years as you and I have, to see who we thought was a trash wrestler end up being a main eventer is pretty cool. I
think Eric Moy earlier, while I was talking about watching writers decide which order a match should go in, says I wouldn't watch any of that, Wade. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my best example, but there's got to be some drama in there when it comes to maybe along the lines of, I don't think we should feature this person on TV at all for months because the crowd's not reacting to him.
This is why Wade doesn't pitch reality shows.
Well, I think this last point is a sizable improvement over the last bad idea. But the idea of like a legit discussion, like, what, we've been putting our truth on every week because humor's getting less and less. The crowd's not reacting. Like that's, I think that'd be interesting to watch writers talk about who gets TV time and who doesn't, and why, in a legit way, because we know that happens. There is nothing that says matches have to be fake for there to be a decision by people putting on a show who gets featured in matches and segments. And I think you could show legitimate discussions about giving opportunities, to use their buzzword, to people, or taking time away from other wrestlers, and have that discussion in a way that doesn't pull the curtain back needlessly far. So I think there is something the writers can do besides talking about finishes and storylines, which is the allotment of TV time and crowd reactions to things, justifying things. So I will push back on not push back, but try to improve upon my previous suggestion about that match should go on third, not fourth. No, that's not a good idea. Do not do a reality show on that, Griffin. I'm not going to fund that one. All right, let's see. A couple other star chats or key comments here on discussions we had that I wanted to get to. And if there's anything else you want to jump in with, Griff, feel free at any point. Standard Ovation said that punch of, I assume, Punk to Heyman reminded me of Vince taking a Superman punch around 2016. The scarcity of the guy receiving the bump signals this guy is special. Interesting. Sadler version 3 says, I thought they're going to have Punk attack Heyman as bait for Braun and have Braun run the rope and bump Heyman off the apron. I agree it's dumb for Punk to fall for that distraction. We should, this is interesting. Derek says we should be embracing other cultures and languages. It sounds like Stephen A. Smith saying Otani can't be the face of baseball because he can't speak English. I think can't and shouldn't are two different arguments. I don't know Stephen Smith's argument there, but you could say, just factually speaking, he won't be, because part of being the face of a sport is bonding with your audience through a common shared language and communication.
And I again, I'm a proponent for subtitles. I don't think you need to speak the language. You can have subtitles to translate exactly what you're saying.
I wouldn't, but pro wrestling is cast. It's casting. You're casting a crew.
Yeah.
I don't think like on CBS Survivor is a reality show. I don't think they should cast somebody who doesn't speak English.
That's not your top star. But I think back to Lucha Underground, and that was, they subtitled the Spanish speaking, and that's a niche show, not a mainstream show. Yeah. But for your, especially like your Pentas and that, is not your top of the card. Subtitle what they're saying.
And WWE's done a great job with their vignettes. I mean, they found ways to do this where it's been a non-issue. I think the issue is it smart to put Stephanie Vaquero in the ring, have her speak 4 or 5 memorized sentences without an inflection that really connects with the word she's saying, because it's not her first language, she's not polished, and then do an extended Spanish promo without subtitles. you have a choice to do something completely different than that. You don't have to put her live in the ring. And you go, well, but that's kind of part of the bonding experience. I mean, it's a tough call. I don't think it is an obligation of a wrestling booker or promoter to hire the most talented wrestlers and feature them if they don't speak the language on a show in which the primary way you connect with audiences, one of them is promos. Like, it is part of the job description. So I don't look down upon a promoter going, man, it's just factually speaking. It's not a perfect analogy, but like if you're booking a reality show, you want everyone to talk common language so they can communicate with each other. And if you have somebody who doesn't know English on Survivor or Big Brother or something, it's just weird. It's not the same thing, but my point is it's not a sport where if you can score goals or shoot the basketball or hit home runs, you should be able to be the face of the brand. I think there's a better argument for that than a social obligation of equality for people who don't speak English to be given equal time on a wrestling show. I get it's a business. You do what is best for business. But Griffin, you're right. Subtitles and the post-produced vignettes are a way to make it work.
Yeah, and you can do subtitles in a live promo too. When it's on a 7-second delay, you got people who can translate and type that fast. They do it for Google Translate. You just turn Google Translate on and let it fill the screen.
Yeah. Can be dangerous.
Yeah.
I've seen a few things like, whoa, that's not what he said. I bet. But even so, I don't think people want to tune into wrestling to watch.
They probably wouldn't get away with Bendejo anymore either.
I don't think people want to tune into a wrestling show and have to read captions to understand what someone is saying on a 7-second delay. I think there's an occasion where if you think it makes sense to do it, then yeah, let us know what they're saying. But as there's a lot of wrestlers who don't get live in-ring promo time. Just pre-film. The vast majority of the people aren't able to carry the segment because you don't want it to just be, Curtis Axel, please don't turn the channel while I'm on. You don't want someone to become, it's Stephanie Becerra. They're going to make us, watch and we don't know what she's saying. And now we have to read the screen and all of that. So,
and other than Heyman, we have a lost art of managers.
Yes. All right. We are up against the clock. I will put up a graphic for your grand opening again here, Griff. January 24th, nerdstalgia.shop. Or bpwlive.com for info on the wrestling going on that day at the grand opening party. Again, just in like 15 seconds, give or take, just let people know if they want to take some notes on this or mark down how they can be part of this.
Yeah, nerdstalgia.shop or at nerdstalgia.shop on most socials. If you're in Colorado Springs, we'll be having stuff all day, including wrestling matches, rap, concert, and different guests and photo ops.
Sweet. Speaking of plugs, you can get a 7-day free trial of unlocking all our VIP shows and then getting commercial-free versions of our free shows all on one feed on Patreon. 7-day free trial at patreon.com/PWTorchVIP. That's patreon.com/PWTorchVIP. And you can also just get full information on all the ways to sign up: PayPal, credit card, debit card, and even using your Apple account. All kinds of ways to go VIP with different ecosystems and tiers. Full details at pwtorch.com/govip. pwtorch.com/govip. Griffin, always a pleasure talking wrestling with you. Thank you. Fun show tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's always a blast.
You bet. Thanks to our callers. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on the flagship on the audio side of things, the Blue Logo Show. And then Wednesday, we'll be back for the Dynamite post show. So join us then live in the chat, or of course, download the show afterwards if that makes more sense for you. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.